Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shut Up and Watch the Movie, your very favorite podcast. There's no other podcast you listen to. This is your only one. I'm Tyson.
I'm Kristina.
And this is a podcast where we make each other watch a movie that the other person may or may not have seen. Sometimes we like it. Sometimes we hate it. But you know what? We're just going to have a good time. We're going to joke about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it.
This one, I have a lot to say about this one. Take that as good or bad, but I've got a lot to say. I have a lot of thoughts.
Oh boy. If you're just tuning in, this is the third film in our John Carpenter-a-thon because Kristina had only seen Halloween before this. Yes. And we just made her watch The Thing and then Assault on Precinct 13. And today's episode is They Live. Mm-hmm. One of his, cult classics. But before we get into that, we do a little segment on the show called The Tiny Little Teeny Eeny Meeny Movie Corner.
Exactly.
Said it perfectly.
Yes, you did.
And this is a little segment where we just talk about a movie we saw in the past week. Might be a new release. Give you a little recommendation. So, Kristina, since you had to bear with the movie this week, you may go first.
Although, I think we're going to say the movie.
I think we are going to have the same pick.
As of the time of recording this, it is currently Glicked weekend.
It is.
Now,
it is Stop trying to Glicked a thing.
You sound like the quote from Mean Girls. Stop trying to Glicked a thing. It's not a thing. Glicked, first of all, very much a thing. Two, I know I've been hyping up Wicked. You guys, I haven't seen it yet. I have to rearrange my schedule to see it with some friends. By the time this podcast comes out, I will have seen it. But I did see Gladiator 2. Woo!
Wow.
Yay.
I also saw Gladiator 2, so that's what I'm going to mention.
I think that's both of our pick. Yeah. I think that it's pretty equivalent to the first one, honestly, in terms of
I watched the first one
filmmaking
immediately before seeing Gladiator 2. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it like a few days before also, so we're both new into the Gladiator stuff. Listen,
I didn't realize how many people love that movie.
Gladiator?
Yeah, Gladiator's
I feel like it's a very dad movie.
It's a Ridley Scott fan favorite.
It's apparently guys are really obsessed with the Roman Empire.
This is not beating the allegations.
I was going to say this will make me think about the Roman Empire once a week, but I guess if I'm going to start thinking about Paul Mescal all the time, you guys. Oh, God. I mentioned before, I'm interested in seeing Gladiator 2 for all the wrong reasons. It delivered on that front. Paul Mescal, oh my God, he looks so good.
Listen, as a straight man, I have to agree. He did look great in this.
There's, I don't know if you know the TikTok sound, but there's the one TikTok sound where it's blah, 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 proper name, place name, backstory. It's half the time I'd be looking at him, and then I'd be wait, focus.
Yeah,
there's plot going on. Yeah. I gotta lock in. I can't just stare at his big muscles.
We gotta watch him fight in a coliseum with baboons or whatever.
The baboons were crazy.
Also
sharks.
Also a little rough on the CGI.
Yeah, the baboons kind of threw me off a little bit, but overall, good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Paul Mescal.
Maybe this is a controversial take. I thought I kind of liked it more than the first one, just a little bit.
I did too, but I feel like that's not, I don't know if I want to officially go on record and say that, because also when I watched the first one, I split it over 2 days. I watched it, I was complaining to you about this, I watched it on PlutoTV.com, which
you can't watch
I figured was the same as Tubi, but there's twice as many ads. I swear to God, there was an ad every 5 minutes. So I will not be, that's the type of thing where I'm okay, at that point I should have just paid $3, but I didn't realize it was going to be that many ads.
Pluto TV also has a terrible interface where you click on something and then it doesn't start immediately. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I was having a lot of problems with it.
Listen, it's rough.
So I feel like I would need to watch Gladiator in a more proper. I saw Gladiator 2 in IMAX. Yeah, maybe if I saw Gladiator weekend. I feel like situationally it was just much better. So I feel like I would need to give them equal standing, because I think I liked Gladiator 2 more, but I feel like I also didn't give Gladiator a solid chance. A
little synopsis of both these movies is just that a guy is on a revenge mission, and he starts from a place of honor. He's kicked down to the dirt and has to fight his way back up through gladiator combat.
Gladiator.
That's his, that framework kind of carries through both of them. They both have
also Pedro Pascal. He's great, and he's hot too.
Pedro Pascal's good in it. Yeah, also the acting was good. I thought Denzel Washington.
Honestly, he kind of stole the show.
If you're talking about Paul Mescal being hot, is it Paul Mescal? How do you say his name?
I think it's Mescal.
Mescal? I always want to say Mescal. Not relevant, but talk about him looking good. I thought Denzel Washington looked good in this.
Did you see, there was an interview where Denzel Washington's I kissed a man on the mouth for this and it got cut. And it's well, wait a minute. It's wait a damn minute. What do you mean?
They do have a line
because also there's another, I forget what other interview it was, but there was another Ridley Scott movie where someone claimed I kissed someone and it just got cut from the movie. So is Ridley Scott just out here being kiss,
Really,
do a little smooch. Also, there's a scene where apparently Paul Mescal kisses Pedro Pascal on the forehead, and that got cut.
Are you sure that got cut? Well, that would have been when they were in the Coliseum together.
I don't know. It got cut.
Well, here's the thing. Denzel Washington, there's like a line he says where it's like, he's like drunk, and they're like, yeah, you like women, right? And he's like, sometimes.
Yeah, no, sometimes.
Like, okay,
I think
Denzel.
he was a very queer-coded
Well,
character.
you know, people like talk about how gay the Roman Empire was.
Yeah.
Or at least bisexual.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not meant to be controversial. Did you see that they released a documentary that was like, Abraham Lincoln was gay?
I did not see that.
I do.
Is that a real thing?
I did not see the movie.
I don't know. The Roman and Greek empires were both very
No,
gay.
I agree. They were so fruity. But, like, I saw an ad for this documentary before a movie, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. It was just
Before this movie?
No, not before this movie. Before like a movie a
oh.
couple months ago, or maybe a month ago.
I have not heard about this.
I don't know. I think people weren't too happy about that one.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, that.
What a bombshell to drop!
I don't even know. I don't even know what to think about that. I feel like I'd have to.
Is that why they
do a
killed
little
him?
research or something? No, that's not why they killed him. They killed him because of slavery.
You ever think about going into a theater and then that happening to you?
I try not to.
I worry about
that. Is like. That is a thought. But this is going down a dark path.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Paul Mescal hot. Me like movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
It was funny though because I do feel like my friend and I walked out. We were like, we had a different experience. Like the girl who's walking out, we watched a different movie than the men in that movie. We had different experiences watching that, and it delivered on the things that I wanted. So, you know, at the end of the day,
well, that's good. That
I had a great time.
You know, I went in thinking I was kind of mid on the first Gladiator, and I was like,
I do think that this is a good one, and honestly, probably true with the original Gladiator too. Like, it's like one of those like big screen movies.
yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Like, it makes a difference to see it on a big screen in a big theater.
Think technically any of it was actually like IMAX. It was. I mean,
if it was shot for IMAX.
No,
I saw it in IMAX.
I know, I saw it in IMAX too, but I don't. The screen didn't ever fully fill out. I don't think. Not that you might be watching for that, but I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention to that, but it was fun to see. I think. Versus, like I said, I think the first one I don't think I gave a true chance to because it was like on my laptop with Pluto TV ads playing every 5 minutes. So, but yeah,
cool.
I think if you like the original Gladiator, if you're curious, go see it.
I agree. I can't.
Good movie. It's fun.
I don't think it's like discernibly worse than the first one, at least.
I would say they're about the same level.
They are about the same to me.
I know
too.
some people think that it's a lot worse for some reason.
Yeah, maybe if you're like a Gladiator head.
Yeah, maybe if like that's like your biggest favorite movie. I don't know. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. But I thought they're about the same level. I enjoyed it. Kind of. All right,
but let's move on. Let's get into the meat of this podcast. The reason people tuned in, maybe. And that's John Carpenter, the final episode of our John Carpenter 3-movie marathon.
Woo!
They Live. Now, They Live is written and directed by John Carpenter based on a short story called 8 O'Clock in the Morning. It was released in 1988. Budget of $3 million. Wow, that's actually very low.
That is low. Tyson's trying to bring more facts to the podcast.
I just think we need to bring more meat to the bone of this podcast.
I just feel like this is not interesting meat, though.
Well,
like,
it's not interesting you. Maybe it's interesting our listeners, maybe.
Possibly, maybe. We're trying out some new stuff. We had a meeting. We had a podcast
Listen,
meeting
I'm just saying, if you had to do like a poll on which host was the fan favorite host.
Ooh.
Should we put that? I feel like we'd kill each other.
I feel like we can't do that.
No, we can't split her. It's like a divorce.
I feel like it's unfair too because I feel like the people that are maybe active on our social media, it's not an accurate representation.
Yeah, it's not an easy decision.
Who's listening? I don't think we should pit each other up.
I'm just saying
we work together.
The Tyson heads probably want me to contribute some more valuable information to this podcast.
I feel like they want you to be silly, but
I'm gonna be silly. Let me just get through my.
You're naturally very silly.
My little facts.
Go for it.
Okay, well I got through the facts. See, it takes like 4 seconds.
I was already getting ready to snooze. So.
Well, I'm gonna scream then. I'm not actually gonna scream.
It's hot in the closet.
It is hot in the closet today.
It's been cold recently. It's cold outside.
Well, so I turned the heat on. The heat's been running on very low.
Okay.
In the apartment. Sorry, should we put like a little tape over the thermostat and be like,
do not touch?
Like a parent?
Like a dad, yeah.
All right, so.
Okay, so should we get into the
what did you know about this movie beforehand?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I feel like you had mentioned it. You had mentioned it before, and that's pretty much, I didn't know anything about it.
Had you heard of this before?
No, I think I'd heard you say the name of the movie before, but like other than that, no. Also, They Live sounds like a zombie movie.
They Live is not like a great title for it, I don't think.
It's not yeah, I don't think it is either. I'm like, because what, like who, what?
The Elite.
I know what it's referencing, but also I don't think it's good. A good title. I don't think it's a good title. I think it sounds like a zombie movie. It's not a zombie movie. It's not a zombie movie.
It is technically Aliens. John Carpenter does a lot of alien movies.
Yeah.
All right, so how we do this, we're going to go through the plot, and we're just going to talk about things as they come up. I guess I never realized what this guy's name was.
I guess his name is Nada.
It says his name is Nada, but it's just Roddy Piper. I never...
Yeah, it's that guy. I don't know who he is. You were like, he's a UFC fighter?
No, he was a
WWE, excuse me.
Or, whatever. It was probably WWF then, or something. He was a pro wrestler.
He would have beat Jake Paul?
That's a different sport.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. He beat Mike Tyson, so, like, anything's possible.
So...
I'm talking about Jake Paul.
Yeah. Oh, Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying Roddy Ricch.
No. Roddy Piper.
I don't... Oh.
Roddy Ricch is like a rapper.
Yeah, different raw person.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know anything about UFC or WWE or
They're completely different things.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about either one.
WWE is like a theatrical show where people punch each other. UFC is like an actual fight, like an actual, martial art.
Okay.
Why are you looking at...
There's theatrics there too.
In UFC?
I would believe so.
I think UFC is actually like them... Like,
fighting.
I think WWE is like... I don't say
what was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson one?
That was UFC.
Okay, because see...
They do like... They like dirty talk each other beforehand.
I feel like a lot of people were saying that Mike Tyson was holding back during that. Like, there was definitely... I don't know. You know what? I shouldn't be talking about this. I don't know shit about any of this.
UFC is like a sport.
Literally know nothing.
And I'm not saying WWE should not be respected. I think people love it because it is theatrical and oftentimes it's like pre-planned and it's like a show.
Yeah.
Versus UFC, which is like actually more like a sport, like a boxing. Okay. It's not relevant, but this guy is a WWE. That's why he went to acting. That's why so many wrestlers go to acting.
Jacked because he's
you have to be jacked.
Yep.
So basically, he's homeless. He's traveling in good old Los Angeles, California. And he doesn't have a job. He tries to get a job, can't get a job. So he gets a job at a construction site. Mm-hmm. Meets Keith David, who was in The Thing.
Yes.
They become buds, and they're hanging out at like a homeless shelter.
Yep, like a little shanty town.
Yeah, like a homeless encampment.
I would say I wouldn't call it a homeless shelter.
Yeah, no, not a shelter.
It's like this little...
It's like an empty block.
Yeah, like a bunch of homeless people are living at.
Which
also, I started taking notes again as we watch movies. I did this in the beginning. This is what
I'm saying. We're bringing more value to this podcast.
Because you know what made me last episode with Little Women, I thought of like 10 more things I wanted to say. That's probably just because I could talk about that movie forever. But I was like, I need to take notes. So my first note that I have is that his jeans look really nice.
I wasn't even looking at
his jeans. Good fit. We need to bring back like 80s jeans that guys would wear and they like
80s jeans.
Just like hugs. Like I'm thinking like Steve Harrington and Stranger Things. Like the way that they hug just like look nice.
I can't even imagine. Like the way they hug, like do you mean like in the ass area?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Like his ass looks good. The jeans look nice.
We're in like a 90s kind of...
Is it the 90s?
No. Well, I think this movie is like 88.
1988. Okay. Yeah. It was still the 80s.
No, but I'm saying I think currently in 2024 we're more of like in a 90s kind of aesthetic.
I know, and I like 80s more.
But 90s are like big baggy pants.
I know. I personally like the 80s.
My girlfriend would disagree. She loves the 90s.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I don't like that or that people wear whatever the hell you want. People like I'm all for that. Personally, I'm like an 80s aesthetic.
Well, it's because I have like such scrawny legs, so it makes me look like a bigger person. Like a healthier person. Yeah,
I guess so. Anyway, that was my first note.
Maybe this dude is wearing baggy jeans, but he's just so ripped that it's hugging around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe that's it too. That's so
I don't
true.
know what this bit is I'm going on. Just ignore it.
Okay, so
they're at a homeless encampment. There's a TV that they watch. I don't know what it's plugged into.
That's what I was trying to figure out too. I was like, how are they watching TV right now? Because where is this plugged in?
Maybe it's like a battery TV. I don't know.
Maybe.
We used to be much more clever with like portable TVs and the like.
Well, now we just have phones.
Yeah, I guess now you're right. We have like phones and laptops.
Tablets, yeah.
And tablets. Were you a tablet kid?
No.
Were you? Well, like probably like Not for most of my childhood, but like around maybe like 11 or 12.
I did have an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
Which I guess was like pretty similar.
I wonder how young
But that also wasn't... I was probably like also like 10 or 11 when I got that.
How young do you think kids are getting tablets now?
They get them when they're babies. Have you ever heard of like iPad babies?
iPad babies? They get their own little tablets?
Yeah. Have you ever been in like a restaurant and you see a kid with an iPad that's just like... And
like,
then they do the cough on it with like on the screen.
That's so gross.
And then they're rubbing their hand all over the screen and they like stick it in their nose.
Oh man. What are they doing on there?
I've had children. They're like Cocoa Melon games. Like
I was gonna say they're checking their stocks. Diversifying their portfolio.
Exactly. No, I was not that.
Well, this movie is kind of like about this. Because think
not.
about it. You're a slave to media. Because look, when they're watching the TV at the homeless encampment, there's a little signal that breaks
There's
through.
like an interruption.
And a guy speaking on the TV and he's like, "You're asleep." Or he says something along those lines.
It's like, you need to wake up, like they're taking over. Like you need to be aware of
wake up.
the disaster that's going on around us, blah, blah, blah. Like it's a bunch of, I don't know.
And the guy's just like, "Hey, where'd the TV go?"
Yeah, and they're like, we'll get this guy off.
Put the game back on.
Dude, I would probably do the same thing if I was watching TV.
It's like whenever like you're watching something, and I guess live TV isn't really a thing anymore. Well, I mean, it is, but I don't think anybody really watches live TV. But you know how it used to be that most of like the main channels would get interrupted with like the presidential
breaking news.
Like if a president had like something to speak to the nation.
Sure.
Anytime that happened,
I feel like those were planned though.
No, I know, but sometimes you just wouldn't know, and then it'd be like you'd be watching something, and then it would just cut to the president, and then Barack Obama would say something.
I don't feel like this was like a crazy common thing.
Would happen sometimes, but my point is,
it would be announced.
Yeah, he's probably saying something important that is relevant to us. Yeah. But like, look, it's like changing the channel. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, put Big Brother back on.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I just feel like that wasn't a very good... I feel like that wasn't like a prevalent enough issue.
Okay, do you have an example of something important like coming onto the TV? Like, what about like an emergency service announcement, like an Amber Alert?
Those are annoying.
I always feel bad if I say Amber Alerts. Like, if you turn them off, you can't turn them off.
Oh yeah, I guess that sounds really bad for me to be like, that's annoying.
Well, it's just like
I feel like Amber Alerts don't happen often enough for me to be like... I just feel like I'm like...
That's the only ever alert I get. Are there other color alerts?
No. Well, you get alerts for like emergency weather and stuff.
Yeah, but that's not like a color.
No, I guess not. Do you remember when there was like that alert of what happened like in Hawaii? That was like a false alarm that like everybody got.
That would have to be like terrifying.
That had to be terrible, like because for a few minutes everybody thought they were gonna die. Like in Hawaii a few years ago, everybody got an alert on their phone being like, "There's a bomb coming" or something.
Yeah, I knew because they thought the nuke was about to drop in Hawaii.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's horrifying. That's kind of what they're saying here. They're kind of like, "Hey,
like you're unaware of like what's going on. You need to wake up." Blah blah blah.
Anyway, I want to save my ass for a second. Neither of us think Amber Alerts are annoying. They're important.
No, they're important, and people's lives have been saved because of Amber Alerts.
It's just they sometimes can happen at a frequency that it's like, and I feel like we treat them so nonchalantly. You know, it's like, oh, an Amber Alert.
Yeah,
but they help. I would imagine
they do.
I've never contributed to.
I can't say I have found anyone,
a missing child.
Yeah. They do make a difference.
All right, let's move on from that.
Saved ourselves a little bit there.
Okay, what else happens? So there's a church across the street where he's watching some people go in and out of, and he goes and investigates it, and there's like a blind man. He finds like a hole in the wall.
He finds like a hole in the wall, but he finds the guys who were making that TV announcement, who were making the video being like, you need to wake up. They're like, their hub is at the church.
Yeah, at the church. And then the blind man finds him, and he's like... Some stuff's going on. I don't remember what he says here.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
People, there's a jump scare here where, like, the blind man, like,
you think he's gonna, like, choke him, but it's really just that he doesn't know he's blind.
Yeah, so he's feeling
and then he
his
just,
face.
like, feels his face, and it's
people want to say that
you're gonna join us, young man.
People want to say that this is another one of John Carpenter's horror movies, at least in part. I don't think it's really a horror movie.
No.
It's if anything, it's an action movie.
Yeah, we'll get into the action. We'll get into the action in this movie. Yeah, I don't think it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's... People want to say... I guess it's because the idea that there's, like, aliens amongst us. You don't think there's, like, like reptile people or anything?
No.
No?
No. Do you?
No, I don't. But people think there's some big conspiracy.
Yep.
But I don't think it's reptile people.
I'm sure there are people that believe there are reptile people.
That'd be sick, though.
If there were reptile people? No, that would not be good.
What do you mean that would... What if they were cool?
What do you mean? No, I don't like that.
It'd be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, except like in the government.
Okay, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in real life would be horrifying.
Are turtles
Did you ever see that live-action movie? I think turtles
Which
are
one?
amphibians. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Like the recent
Megan Fox is in it.
Megan Fox one? Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. It's a movie.
I heard someone say that they thought the turtles were hot in that.
Someone would say that, and that's just concerning.
They're a bit...
Well, they try and, like, set up, like, Megan Fox as, like, a love interest.
That's like a common...
It's like...
That's like a common thing in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lore. Is like
yeah,
Leonardo's
there's, like,
going after...
girls, yeah.
Whatever her name is.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The reporter character. I can't remember her name.
I don't remember either.
Okay, what else happens?
So they're at the church... Oh, okay. So then he basically leaves the church and he's like, oh, he gets freaked out. He's like, no, I'm gonna leave. I'm heading out. I don't want any problems. And then
that night, or it's either the next night, night approaches.
Yes.
And the LAPD, they SWAT up. They come and they
destroy down like the whole homeless encampment.
It's actually like pretty horrific.
It's like kind of brutal. Like it's like bad. Like I was like Tyson, like why are you just showing me police brutality? Like they're beating up all the people are running around screaming, like, you know, I mean, these are homeless people. They're like the few belongings that they have are like being completely destroyed.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things this film comments on is like just people's intolerance for homelessness. It's like there's like this thing that's, I mean, it's not, we are not in a position to say why somebody's homeless, but I mean, I would say majority of the time, it's usually circumstances are not
no one wants to be homeless.
And I think this film is like, because even he at the beginning, he's like, you know what? I believe in the American dream. He's like trying to get a job. Yeah. At the beginning, he's like, I believe in it. If I just,
also the Keith Richards character is like, I had a job.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. He's like, no, I don't believe in.
He's like, I had a job, like, I'm trying to work so I can, like, give money to, like, my wife and my kid, like, but, like, he's also living at the homeless encampment at the time, like.
But Roddy Piper thinks if he just keeps working at it, he's gonna eventually...
He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah, so this whole encampment gets destroyed, they're, like, beating people, not good.
But, like, not to get too much into, like, real-life commentary, but, like, that hasn't changed. We still, like, have you heard of, like, anti-homeless architecture?
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy.
How it's like they build benches.
They'll put like just like spikes under underpasses and like dividers and benches. I don't know. I think maybe.
Yeah, maybe like let's solve the root of the problem.
Maybe I don't know. People are so much. The easier fix is to solve the symptom, but I think maybe fund or put more resources into homeless.
Yeah, I would like to think there's people much smarter and more capable than us.
Yeah, listen.
Working on this problem.
I didn't go into politics for this reason. Or, you know, social planning or resources. But I don't think it's fair to punish the people for being homeless.
Right.
Imagine, like, losing your house and then getting arrested for it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, that's my soapbox. Maybe I'm uninformed.
Getting arrested for not having a house. And it's like, I'm trying.
No one messaged me with, like, a counter-argument. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. But
it's not a political debate podcast. But yeah.
The reason I bring that up is
I think it's also pertinent to the movie, and that's like kind of part of the point the movie
is trying to make a point about how he made this, and he says it's a revolt to the Reagan era, because 88 would have been just at the tail end of the Reagan presidency.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people can say Reagan is a lot like, you know, the ultra-conservatism we see today. Mm-hmm. I think it's a different breed, but, like, Reagan definitely instilled a lot of the same conservative values we still see amongst our Republican candidates now. And so the encampment gets destroyed, and some chaos happens.
He, like, runs into the church to, like, try and, like, find safety. And he finds a box of sunglasses.
This is, like, the next day, though. It's like, I think he camps out at the...
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, because there's some other people... There's some other people there that are, like...
I don't know if this is in the church, but I think he might be in, like, an apartment or something that he runs into, but...
The sunglasses?
No, not the sunglasses. I'm saying he camps out that night.
Oh, yeah, like some people, like, find a building nearby, and they're just, like, kind of waiting.
But he goes to the church, and he finds a box... Sorry, that was my keys dangling out of my pocket and falling onto the ground.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, for an audio medium, you gotta avoid all kind of unnecessary sounds.
Stop that.
I know. This is
Get
very
yourself
unprofessional
together.
of me.
I thought we were growing up.
I know.
I thought we were being serious. Here you are dropping stuff.
Listen, we were having a whole intellectual discussion
about Reagan and conservatism.
And my keys come falling out of my pocket. I'm sorry.
I feel like this is we're being really serious this first half, but don't worry, it's going to get silly.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm going to get a little silly. I think he finds the box of sunglasses.
Okay.
And I think those are sick as fuck.
The sunglasses?
Yeah, he puts a
They're cool-looking sunglasses, but the thing is,
they're
you guys,
Ray-Bans.
They're not normal sunglasses.
No, they're not normal sunglasses.
Because when he puts the sunglasses on, he sees the world in a whole new way. Ugh. It's black and white.
I don't know why it's black. I guess it's just to distinguish when you're looking through the sunglasses or not.
I think that helps, yeah. And I think it's also to just take away all the color from the world and make it look dark. And all the billboards and magazines and stuff, they're not colorful with advertising and everything. They just say obey.
It's like Big Brother.
And
it's
it's literally
1984. It's like obey.
One of my notes is literally this movie's trying to be 1984.
No,
it wants to be 1984 so bad.
He's looking at a billboard and he puts the sunglasses on and it says obey, and I just hear Kristina at the other end of the couch go ugh.
I was like, come on. Because you know why? Because, okay, visually, I think this part's kind of cool. Because just the way the world looks with, the black and the white, it looks very nice. I think visually, the kind of, the way it says, eat, sleep, consume, obey, listen, all the,
he looks at money and it says, this is your God.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
That made me roll. I was like, all right. It was just, listen. It's a little on the nose. I'm kind of okay.
It definitely is what you said. It was you're 14 and this is deep. It's
no, I was
vibe.
no, okay. The vibe that I described it as is when a guy in his 20s decides to take shrooms and then discovers empathy. And that's kind of the vibe this had where it's just yo, maybe rich people are kind of corrupt. Damn, when you think about it like that, that's the vibe I was getting to this movie, and I was like, oh my god, no shit, okay, don't,
well, we can say that now with the perspective of,
I don't, I was come on,
you listen,
I get the point that it's trying to make, but I was just kind of it felt like it was not letting the audience. It was treating the audience as if it's dumb. It was look at the things.
Okay.
Look at the, you think the money's God. Look at that. And I'm
okay.
I was come on.
Okay. The first time I watched this movie, I thought I agreed with you. However, John Carpenter makes pop culture movies. He makes big, widely accessible media. And, sometimes I think I would like to assume people have strong media literacy or are able to watch something and understand, but I think we are in the upper tier of people. I'm not saying I fully understand every single movie I watch. I'm just saying, I think I'm looking for what's the intent with the messaging of a movie. Okay. I think a lot of people...
I just feel like it was shoving it down your throat.
I understand. I think some people
Also, the sunglasses look a little silly.
No, it's
on
cool.
A more surface level complaint, I was he looks a little silly with the sunglasses on.
It's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll. Look, I
don't know, because they were kind of cool sunglasses, but then watching him do the thing where he takes them off and then puts them back on, and it's well, I was all right, that's a little silly.
What a cool way, because it's it's a rebellious movie, it's rebellion against the system. That's what makes it cool.
I guess, but
that's why people like it.
Yeah.
And it's doing it in a rock and roll way.
I didn't think it was rock and roll, though. I thought it was just banging you over the head. And I was gonna say, if you don't think this is too in your face, it's gonna keep going. Okay, we're not done yet.
I'm just people love the messaging of this movie.
I just felt like it was trying to have. We'll get into it.
Did you see a score on Letterboxd? People love it.
I feel like it was a varying rate. I feel like some people agree with me and some people love it.
Well, it's one of John Carpenter's, one of the more fan favorites of his. I don't know if I said that already.
That's fine. I don't know. I didn't dislike the movie, and we're still kind of in the first half.
No, but this is the meat of the discussion, right?
Yeah,
here.
I mean, this is kind of the whole theme, and it was just very in your face, and I was I don't know. I get what he was trying to do, but I was like, all right, calm down.
Okay, well...
It's like I said, it's trying to be 1984, but I feel like without a lot of the nuance of 1984. And also, as we keep going, I feel like if it wanted to have this message and be like this really like deep reflection on capitalism, then maybe it should have leaned off some of the action stuff a little bit, because I feel like it pays a lot of attention to that, which I like a lot of the action parts. I think the action stuff is good, but I think that kind of holds it back from being a more like serious contemplation on capitalism.
What he does next is not the most advisable thing.
For example, all right, so he's looking around, and among the black and white worlds and all these words that he sees,
some people are people.
Yeah, seeing some people are like these creepy looking alien things.
Aliens look cool, I think. I think the design
they look nice.
Cool.
They look nice. They look cool. And it happens to be a lot of the more like wealthy people or like police officers.
You know, the people in charge.
The people in charge. So he starts looking around and seeing these people. So you want to know what the first... wait, actually, okay. I'm saying thinking like...
He's so fucking obvious with the glasses. He's like staring at one guy and he's like, what's your problem?
He's staring straight at him.
And he's like, why are you looking at me?
Why are you looking at me? Well, what are you looking at? And he just keeps staring. So if I was in this position and I discovered these glasses and I'm like looking around and I'm like, oh my God, there's like aliens or monsters or something. Like, what's going on? My first thought would be like, okay, how do I figure out what's going on here? I don't want to ask these people because maybe they're bad, maybe I'll get in trouble. Let me go and try and like find the people where I got these glasses from, because I know that those people at the church, like they were onto something, and maybe if I can find them, they might have answers for me.
Which somebody later in the movie does think of.
Yes,
but not
this
him.
Guy, no, not him. You want to know what he does? First thing he does, he goes and shoots up a bank.
Yeah, well, wait. So he gets the glasses, he puts it on, and then I think he starts to realize what's happening. He sees a news broadcast with like a politician, and behind him it says obey, and the politician's talking, and he's like, figures it'd be something like this. And then he sees a woman, and he's like, hey, you're ugly. And this is like... Okay,
also, I think it's funny the way they tried to make that lady look rich. She's wearing like a sequin dress. I was like,
no, she's got like a big like furry overcoat.
She's got like she looks like Cruella over the top. She has like a fur coat and a sequin dress on. It's just some old lady, and she's like in a grocery store. I was like, calm down.
You gotta make your point.
Oh my God, yeah.
If it's too subtle, people don't get it.
Oh, that's I think what the movie thinks, and that drives me crazy. I'm like, calm down. Like, as someone who likes big spectacle movies that are in your face, I'm like, okay. You don't need to put the lady in a sparkly dress and
Gladiator's kind of also about class.
Yeah, I would say it is in a lot of ways.
But it's not so direct about it.
I feel like it's a little more subtle.
Well, that movie's also about other things. This movie is direct. Yeah. This movie is
like, yeah. This movie's like elite class bad, capitalism bad.
Keith David at the beginning gives like a speech about, like, unprompted, gives like a speech about like capitalism. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna try my best, but everybody else in capitalism is trying their best, and they're gonna stop me from trying my best. But I gotta try my best to stop him.
Like, there's like no nuance in this. Like, it's like,
you gotta make your point.
So okay, fine. He goes to grocery store. He calls the lady ugly. Then he goes to shoot up a bank.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's break this down just a little bit, because you're probably wondering, where did he get the gun? What happened? So he. Yeah, I can't get over that. There's like a mass shooting in this movie. It's not great. But he's shooting aliens, though. He's shooting aliens.
He only shoots the alien. He doesn't shoot the normal people. He only shoots aliens.
But to everybody else, he's like a crazy guy.
But yeah, it looks like he's shooting people.
This was in 1988, before mass shootings were like a common occurrence. So it's... You couldn't make this movie today. So he calls her ugly, and then she freaks out, and then she starts talking on her little wristwatch, and then suddenly all the aliens are aware that he knows.
We got one that can see.
And he keeps doing it. He keeps finding people.
Because here's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I was in this situation, I'd be like, oh, we need to be like subtle. I need to like not draw attention to myself. Like, I could get in trouble. This guy knows that he's drawing attention to himself. There's more aliens coming at him now because like the police are coming, and he's like, you're ugly. I hate you. You're a bunch of bad guys. And it's like, what are you doing, dum dum?
The cops come at him, and they're like, hey, let's just we can just calm down. And then he shoots the cops with their gun. And then he goes into the cop's car, and he pulls out the shotgun. It's like GTA.
My God.
And
he just goes on a rampage.
And then he goes into a bank, and he's like...
Oh my God, wait, I love this line, actually.
Yeah.
Because why does he say that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's such a good line. I love it.
No,
I wish it was a different context where it made more sense.
He's like, I've come to kick ass and chew bubble gum. and I'm all out of bubble gum. And he just starts shooting people in the bank.
It's so...
He just starts, oh my
God, it's so out of pocket. And the whole time I'm like, why? Like, calm down. Like, slow down. Like, just think through our actions. He says that line, and I'm like, I don't know why he says that. I love the line.
Because he's killing the aliens.
Why would he say anything about chewing bubble gum and like... Like, I felt like that was, like, trying to be, like, a Die Hard moment.
Well, okay.
But I was like...
I actually know a little bit about this because I watched the commentary.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, Roddy Piper, that was one of the lines he used to say when he was in his, like, wrestling act.
Well, I feel like that shouldn't be in the movie then.
Well, here's what happened. So he gave him a bunch, and John Carpenter said none of them were going to work for the movie, but he did say the kick-ass chew bubblegum line, and I thought, yeah, that could work. And he says it. And guess what? That's what the movie's known for.
That one line.
That one line is iconic. I mean,
it's a good line.
Iconic.
It's a good line. It's so random. But I do love that line. It kind of reminds me of Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
He doesn't even really kick ass. He just shoots.
He just shoots down a bunch of people.
Okay.
Not people, aliens.
I've had this discussion with my friend. I feel like guns made killing too easy. And not in like a way. I'm talking about like in war. It's like, imagine if we still had to fight with swords.
Listen, I got a great movie for you to check out. It's called Gladiator 2.
No, but I'm just saying, like, we used to have to be, like, highly trained in combat. Imagine if this guy had a sword and he was chopping people up in the bank.
It'd be kind of entertaining to watch.
He'd be kicking ass more
He would be kicking ass.
So, anyway.
There was an interview with Paul Mescal for Gladiator 2, and someone was like, oh, like, what would you bring into the arena, like, to win? He was like, a gun.
That would work.
I thought that was a great answer.
Obviously, he shoots up people in the bank. Aliens. He shoots aliens in the bank. And
then he's, like, running away because, more aliens are trying to get him.
They got, like, weird alien drones. They're looking at him. They got their cameras on him.
So at this point in the movie, I'm thinking this guy's not very smart. Okay?
No, he's kind of headstrong, and he's kind of brash.
Like, he's being kind of stupid.
He is kind of stupid.
But what happens next is where I started to just straight up not like him.
He hides into a parking garage. And coincidentally, he hides behind the one car that's about to get in by a woman. There's
a woman walking the parking lot by herself.
What's this woman's name? Let me look.
I don't even remember.
Not the actress. I'm just looking at the character's name.
So there's a woman walking in a parking lot by herself. If you're a woman and you've walked in a parking deck by yourself before, like, you're probably, like, alert, aware of your surroundings.
Holly's her name.
Holly. Yeah, her name is Holly. What he does is literally, like, every woman's worst nightmare of what could happen in a parking deck. Because he basically, like, grabs her and covers her mouth. He's like, get in the car. And then he has the gun. And he's like, drive. Where's your house? And then on the car ride, he's like, are you married? And she's like, yes. And he's like, don't lie to me. And she's like, no. There's like, nothing she says. This is the worst situation. Like, I would be freaking out. Like,
okay, the messaging of this movie gets a little confused. Because I don't know if we're supposed to be... I feel like we're not supposed to be, like, siding with him here. But at the same time...
because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is, like, terrifying.
He does harass this woman.
And then they get to her house.
And he's like, put on the sunglasses. And she's like, no, you're schizophrenic.
Right. Like, he's like... she's basically trying to convince him. He's like, no, you don't understand. Like, the world isn't the way it is. And she's like...
listen, I'll put the sunglasses on, but I'm like...
I would just agree with you. Because she's probably... her brain's probably going to worst case scenario about what this guy wants to do. He has a gun and he's in her house. And he knows that she's alone.
And so she manages to get him out of a window. She manages to, like, push him out of a window.
Honestly, love that part. She shoves him out a window.
So...
oh, also, she, like, grabs some wine while she's like, because he's, like, holding the gun at her. He's like, don't leave. And she's like, I'm thirsty. She goes to get wine. And I was like, good for you, girl.
John Carpenter said, he's like, what would you do if you discovered it? And he's like, yeah, I'd shoot them. So maybe John Carpenter does think that this is what you should do.
I don't know. This part just pissed me. And, like, he's doing such a bad job of, like, explaining what's going on, too. Like, he really does seem like a crazy person.
No, he is a crazy person.
Like, he's like, just put the sunglasses on. And she's like, no. Like, I'm not... and she makes a good point, too, where she's like, even if I don't see what you see, I'm gonna agree with you because I'm scared. And, like, I don't want
Which is a crazy thing also to say to the just do that. I don't know.
She shoves him out a window, and it brought me a lot of joy.
So he goes back to the alleyway, because I guess he lost the glasses also, because the glasses were in the apartment.
Because they were at her house, yeah.
And so he goes back to the alleyway. Oh, by the way, he stored them in a trash can.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Because there was like a whole box of them, and he like was like, oh, where can I hide these? And he puts them in the trash can in an alley, and it's like, you don't know it's trash day.
Obviously, that's
another
a terrible
stupid,
place to put him.
like, he is such a stupid protagonist.
I've always thought that was
I cannot stand him.
Like, I like the movie, and I think that's stupid.
Dumb. Like, why would he why is that where he would put them?
I guess if it's in an alley, it looks like the trash is overflowing. I guess they don't think that anybody's taking that trash out. So, but he gets back, and there's a garbage truck there. Also, what is this garbage truck, by the way?
Yeah,
it's like orange and like has a...
It like opens really strangely.
It like opens like it's from like Blade Runner. It's like futuristic. Let me look this up. Garbage truck 80s.
In the 80s.
I'm going to see if this is like how they were common back then. No, it isn't. It like opens up from the back and...
It's strange.
It's not...
But anyway, he gets in and he starts digging through to find the glasses.
Uh-huh.
And he does find some.
Yeah, right? And then the garbage truck opens up backwards and it
also,
all spills out.
We pointed out, it was kind of funny because, like, lucky that the garbage truck looked like it was mostly just, like, boxes and papers.
I was about to say that's probably for the filming purposes, but yeah, it's so lucky that garbage
not, like,
in movies...
disgusting, like, leftover food and actual garbage things, you know?
Why does all garbage smell the same? Have you ever wondered this?
I don't think all garbage smells the same.
I do think it does. It always has a distinct garbage smell.
I think garbage smells different.
I'm not smelling garbage. I'm just thinking most dumpsters I've ever like thrown stuff out of has like a distinct similar smell to it.
Yeah.
Intellectual conversation on the podcast.
I think garbage smells different.
Let's move. This is going nowhere.
So, we're about to get to my favorite part of the movie.
Okay, so guess who shows up in the alley? Keith David. He throws him, he goes over to the construction site, and Keith David's like, hey, you're a maniac. You
killed a bunch of people. Like, what you can't be here. Like, we're not friends anymore. Like, I can't talk to you. I like, want to keep my job. So then he's like, but you have to put on these sunglasses. And he's like, no. Like, you're lucky I'm, like, giving you... And you know what? So then he finds him after and gives him, like, he's like, I got you 1 week pay. Like, good luck. Go on your way. I'm not helping you anymore.
Why did he even do that?
No. That was nice of him, I guess.
He's a crazy person who shot up
a bank.
That'd be like...
Which, like, we know he had reasons for doing that, but nobody else knows. So then, my favorite part of the movie. There is, like, a full, like... 6 minute long.
Yeah, so Keith David comes back to the alleyway and he's like, put on the sunglasses, and he's like, no. And so then they fight for like 20 minutes.
Great, like, it's genuinely, I think it's like 6 or 7 full minutes. There's like 5 different times when you think it's gonna be done and then it just keeps going. They are punching each other, they're body slamming each other, they're biting, kicking in the balls, like throwing each other up against the wall. Like, it just keeps going. It is so insane.
There's one part Keith David like puts his hand down and like help him up, and then he like helps him up and punches him back down again.
Boom, yeah, it's like that. Like I said, I'm like, there's like 5 different points where I'm like, oh, the fight's over now, and then it just keeps
This is
going.
Also what the movie is known for.
Honestly, I love that.
One of the greatest fist fights in the history of movies.
It is so over the top. That's part of the reason why I'm like, why, like, how does this help the capitalism theme? Like, what?
Which is cool.
It's so funny. Like,
if you've ever seen people fight, they're not, like, it's not like a movie fight. It's like a real fight where people are just, like, constantly just, like...
this is not a real fight.
Listen, I don't know.
There are several points where they both would have been knocked out during this.
No, but they're both big,
This is
large,
very theatrical. Men. I kind of loved it. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous, but it was really fun to watch, and it just kept going, and it has everything you need in it. They're doing it all.
So he finally gets the sunglasses on him after 20 minutes of fighting.
Yeah.
And okay, now he sees the world, so they go hiding for a bit. And then Keith David, the voice of reason, finally is like, hey, can we just go figure out who made the sunglasses?
They're like, who? Also, because at this point, I'm like, okay, so he sees these alien people. I'm like, we don't actually know who they are, what they're doing. Like, why is the first thing to be like,
obviously
let's shoot them up? But like,
they're saying like
know.
obey
there might be,
and like sleep. And,
I'm
like,
saying
messaging.
Like, if we think through this logically, there might be a different solution than like, let's just shoot up everything.
No, I agree. I feel like that should not have been his first attempt.
Oh my god. I think there's too many questions that I like. Keith Richards' character comes in and starts asking the question, and I'm sitting there. I actually remember when he started being like, hey, so like, who are they? Where are they from? Who can we go talk to about this?
He's like, I don't know.
I was sitting there and I'm like, Thank you! Thank you, somebody with a brain! Like, this is what I was waiting for. Like, this is what I would have done in this situation. This is what most sane people would have been thinking, is like, hey, maybe we should try and get some answers about this before we just, like, freak out.
But maybe the elite maybe he's stupid because it's saying the elite keep the lower class uninformed and uneducated. I don't know. I'm kind of making a stretch there.
Bad. Also, I like it's around this part where they say, there's another really hard line where they say, life's a bitch and she's in heat.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good line.
That's a good one. A lot of great lines.
Great one-liner. Good, right up there with the bubblegum, chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Yep. So they find the meeting.
They find, like, the people from, like, place. The beginning who were, like, sending out the TV
and they're having
messages.
like a meeting. They're like, our numbers are too low.
Yeah. Like, they're trying to, like, recruit people, I guess.
They're like, there should be twice as many people
What
here.
exactly is their plan? Like, I don't...
Well, that's what they're debating. They're like, we keep waiting, and then it's like, no, we gotta take action now. And they put... Well, they have contact lenses now, not sunglasses.
Oh, yeah, because the sunglasses were going to be too much. They look too silly, you guys. They're also really obvious.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
so now they have contact lenses.
They have contact lenses. And also they say, yeah, we just got this shipment.
Also, didn't they put them in, like, crazy? Like, why are they putting the contact lenses in like that?
It's like there's hand and it's like, put them in. And it's like, well, can I have a mirror?
I don't need a mirror, but, like, the way, I forget how they were holding it, but, like...
He, like, holds it, like, the case right up to his face, and he's, like, taking it, and he's like, ugh.
He puts,
into
like...
the case.
Yeah. Instead of just, like, doing what you're supposed to do and, like, with the finger, just...
I wish I could show the clip, but it's an audio medium.
It is an audio medium.
Maybe if we... No, I was about to say, it's not worth clipping.
No, it's not. At least not now.
There's no other funny.
We may have video in the future coming soon, TBD.
Don't make that promise.
No, that's not a promise.
We film in a closet.
Like I said, we had a podcast meeting the other day. There may be fun things coming up, but anyway, we got to focus on the now. And now we're talking about They Live. And so let's see. They
realize the aliens. Their mission is to keep the people enslaved. They're just kind of harnessing the earth of its resources, and they're trying to acclimatize it to
their planet.
Planet while they're there. And then once they harvest all the resources, they're just going to leave it to rot.
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh, and it's literally, they're using global warming.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Global warming.
You guys.
Back in 1988, that's
socially
crazy.
Aware movie. Actually, that is kind of crazy for back in that time period for them to be talking about that. Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Also, they find the woman that he kidnapped earlier. She's there. And, oh my God, this pissed me off because she's like,
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And I'm like, no, don't be sorry. Even if he had a reason to act, like, no, that does not excuse his behavior. Why are you about to, like, cry because you're so sorry for him? I would have been like, hey, so, like, you were right. However, don't appreciate you taking me hostage. That wasn't cool.
However, the aliens find their little meeting and they blow it up.
They seem like they're going to have a moment and then the aliens show
blow
up.
Blow up the place.
Ah.
And so they devise a plan. There's
They find...
Oh, you know why they're doing it? One of them... Their wristwatches can teleport. They can let them teleport. And then one of them breaks on the ground and it opens up a hole while they're escaping the blown up meeting.
Uh-huh.
And they jump through and they end up in, like, the underground base.
Yes.
Or maybe it's a satellite?
It's Nada and Keith Richards. No, it's tunnels.
I know it's tunnels, but then there's like a glass window where it reveals the planet. It's looking at the planet and they have a teleporting pad over to the...
Yeah, I guess I didn't think that hard about where...
It must be like a satellite that they're on. No, it can't be, because they go up to the roof.
Because they're in tunnels.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I guess there could be tunnels in a satellite.
Anyway.
I don't know where... Yeah, I don't know where... They're like in like the alien headquarters, basically.
Okay, here's Wikipedia says. Alien spaceport on Earth under Cable 54, which is the main broadcast signal of the aliens.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So, basically, just to kind of wrap this up, they go and they try to take down the...
They like walk into like a big party because they're like,
yeah, big, like,
we're taking over the humans. Woo!
And some humans have like sold...
Oh, also the tunnels. I don't know why, because like it's like they're like in a tunnel. That actually makes sense if they're under the new studio. That's like where the headquarters in. Because I was like, it kind of reminded me of like in Disney World, like they have like tunnels for like the characters to walk through. So like they're not like walking around.
Yeah,
Disney
no, it's
World.
Very liminal tunnels.
It was kind of the vibes that it gave me. I was like, oh yeah, the aliens just like use the tunnels. They don't have to like.
I'm just saying, Walt Disney would probably be an alien in this movie, in this universe.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like, yeah. So okay, yeah. So they see that party.
Yeah, and they find out that some humans have started like selling themselves, or
have like made deals, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
with the aliens
work
to get
with
rich
the aliens
if they help the aliens.
Yes, because they meet a guy who is
at the homeless encampment, and
yes,
then he's now rich.
And he's like, "Oh, are you guys new recruits? Like, let me show you around." Because he thinks that they've also agreed to.
Because I mean, like, why would they be there?
Yeah. Because they shouldn't be there.
But so they basically shoot everybody up and they blow up the cable network. But before that happens, Holly is actually.
She's also working
one of the
for the
people
aliens.
Who have sold herself.
Dun dun dun.
And so she shoots Keith David, and then she gets shot, and then Roddy Piper destroys the satellite, which destroys the alien broadcast, which is their cloaking system.
Yeah, so the whole world can see the truth.
And so Roddy Piper gets shot by like a helicopter.
And then I like how the Wikipedia makes a point to say, with the signal shut down, Nada gives them the middle finger as he dies.
And then
badass.
All the humans that were aliens reveal themselves to be aliens.
They're not like hidden anymore. They look like aliens.
The final shot of the movie is a woman having sex with a man, and then
oh my god, yeah, that made me roll my eyes too.
The man turns out to be an alien, and then he's like, "Hey, what's wrong, baby?" And then the movie ends. I
was like, yeah, it can't be. Like, of course we have to have some boobs.
No, it's just funny. It's just a funny moment. It would have been funny
like
with or without the boob.
It's a fun little tag to end the movie on, but it made me roll my eyes. I was like, oh brother, So
that's the movie.
I think that I understand what it's getting at, but there's, I think, a lot of problems with, like, the lack of nuance. And also, like, I just have, like, questions about, like, I mean, I guess, I'm like, there are rich people within the movie that, I mean, I guess Holly was an example where, but then I'm like, was she working with the aliens the entire time? But she seems, like, when they go to her house, she's got a nice house.
Yeah.
She's, like, well off. So I'm like, was she working with the aliens the whole time? Because it didn't seem like it. Because then why wouldn't she have reported, like, oh, we got a guy who can see... You know?
I don't know, man. It's just a fun movie.
I don't know.
It's just a fun movie.
Yeah. It's fine.
What did you, how would you rank this with the other two John Carpenter movies that we watched?
I think, The Thing's still number one. That's easy.
Yeah. But is
this versus Assault on Precinct? Because I will say, I had a lot of fun watching this. That's why I said, I was like, at the beginning, I was like, I have a lot to talk about because I had a good time.
You had a good time?
I feel like this is the controversial take, but I think Assault on Precinct 13 is better than this.
I don't think that's necessarily controversial.
I think a lot of people really love this one. And I don't think this is bad by any means. I still, like, I see the value in it, but I was just kind of like, I was kind of iffy on a lot of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
About whether or not it's actually good. Just because there were parts, like, the fight scene. I don't, like, why was that
awesome.
there?
It's just awesome.
I love it. It doesn't really, I think, like, help merit the movie.
What's wrong with the movie just being cool?
That's so true.
Maybe
because this one's trying to be cool and deep. I think that's the problem.
Maybe it's about people's resistance to accepting the truth.
I think that's part of it.
That's why that fight goes on for like 20 minutes. It's because Keith David's stuck in the system.
He's so stuck in the system. He needs to be brought out. Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm sticking with my analysis that this is like some guy being like saying something that like he thinks is super deep, and it's like that's not deep.
It is deep. It is deep. Because guess what? John Carpenter says this movie today is more relevant today than ever.
He would say that.
He says they still live. They do still live.
I can see why he would say that.
And listen, you guys might be thinking John Carpenter's like a socialist, but he says he loves capitalism. He just thinks unrestrained capitalism is a problem.
Interesting. Okay.
But he says he loves making money.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people do.
Big time director. I would think most people like making money. But I definitely got the vibes of like, damn, like, maybe like rich people are corrupt sometimes. Who would have thought?
But at first I was kind of mid on this movie the first time I watched it. But
that's what you said too. So that's why part of the reason why I also didn't feel too bad when I think I gave it a 3 on Letterboxd. And I looked at your first review, and you also, whatever the first time you watched it was, you also gave it 3.
Well, it's a better movie in retrospect because as someone who's seen most of John Carpenter's films, this is one of the ones I found myself keep going back to, and I don't know why that is. So I mean,
it's an entertaining watch. It's a fun movie.
It clearly must be better than I initially thought.
It is a fun movie to watch.
It's very rewatchable.
I think, yeah, I could see that. I could see this being a very rewatchable movie for sure.
So that's that. That's They Live.
That's the movie.
Now, Kristina,
Yeah.
What are you gonna make me watch next week?
One more normal episode for the year.
And then we go on break.
And then, well, no, we have 2 special episodes.
Oh, we do have 2 special. Wait, we have 2 special episodes?
We have 2 special episodes.
You'll have to remind me what those are after the podcast ends.
Okay.
I know what one of them is, but I don't remember what the second one is.
Okay. But yeah, no, we have one more where I'm making Tyson watch a movie. I'm going to make Tyson watch... I was going to say the year. I don't remember what year it came out. But it's a rom-com called The Holiday. Do you know anything about The Holiday?
No, this is actually the first one. I don't think I really know what you're talking about.
So this is a 2000s rom-com. It's one of those movies that
this looks
takes
dreadful.
place around Christmas time, but it's not like actually
dreadful.
a Christmas movie. No, it's so good.
The poster is like those kind of...
The poster is like, yeah, no, I know exactly.
Those kind of movies that are like overly saccharine. And
Yep. I think that this is like a very like... I think in a lot of ways, like, it's exactly what you'd expect from a 2000s rom-com, but it does it well, if that makes sense, you know?
They're pairing Jack Black up with Kate Winslet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Jack Black's in it. Jude Law, I think, like, is the female gaze in this movie.
Not Jack Black?
Jack Black's great, don't get me wrong.
Jack Black looks cute.
I love Jack Black, but, like, Jude Law in this movie... Oh, my Lord.
Wow.
But we'll get into it. It's going to be great. Yeah, so like I said, it's a fun little rom-com. It takes place around Christmas time, but I wouldn't say it's like a Christmas movie. But I thought as we're entering the Christmas season, it might be like the perfect little thing to wrap things up on without making you watch like an actual Christmas movie.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's super cozy. Definitely like a comfort movie for me.
Well... You're clearly going to make me watch this regardless, so
you're going to watch it. Yep.
I'm going to brace for it. Listen, I have not hated a single movie you showed me just yet.
I don't think you'll hate this one either.
But I can imagine it's not.
I don't think this will be your favorite.
Is it at least funny?
Yes, it's a good movie.
Okay.
Why would I make you watch a movie and be like, yeah, no, I hate this movie, but I'm going to make you watch it anyway? Like, no, I like it. I think it's funny and it's cute and it's good.
Well, sometimes I've shown you things that I know you're going to hate.
Yeah, but you still enjoy them.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all been stuff that you still like. Like, everything I've showed you, like, whether or not you're going to like it. I think that you will at least passively enjoy it.
Okay, man. Look, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
Great.
So, you can...
Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so, I'll take us out of here.
Yeah, you play us out.
Thank you guys for listening. If you want to interact with us, check us out on Instagram at shutupandwatchpod. Yep. We have a letterboxd at shutupandwatch.
Is it updated?
Like mostly,
somewhat.
I think I maybe just haven't put up the most recent episodes. We're also right now we're getting ahead for Thanksgiving, so we don't have to record over Thanksgiving.
Correct.
But so I don't know. By the time this comes out, who knows whether it'll be updated or not? I have no idea. But anyway, not relevant. Yep, you can check us out there. Leave us a 5-star review and make sure you share with your friends.
Oh wait, by the time this goes up, I'll probably have figured out YouTube. So the podcast should now be on YouTube, hopefully.
Okay.
Which I've heard is supposed to help because YouTube, a lot more people are likely to stumble onto it. Because, I mean, people aren't really just going to random podcasts, you know what I mean?
This was something that we touched in our podcast meeting the other day.
But yes, so by the time you hear this, we might have a YouTube channel, in which case I'm just going to go ahead and plug what the YouTube channel is. Shut Up and Watch the Movie. It's just Shut Up and Watch the Movie. Our logo is the icon. You'll find it.
Amazing. Thank you to Ronan Lilley for editing the podcast, for Bailey Johnson for our logo, and Justin Hickland for our musical jingle.
Oh, leave a review and I'll read out the review, by the way.
Yes.
On Apple iTunes. No new reviews, so I'm not going to read it out, but oh well. So
okay.
If you want me to read it, good or bad, I'll read it.
Oh boy.
So even if it's terrible, I'll read it. So just leave a review.
We'd prefer if you left a good one, but yeah, I guess.
I don't prefer. Free speech.
Don't obey.
Yeah, don't obey. Don't just mindlessly
consume our content.
Our podcast.
Stand up. Say what you want to say. Hey, Tyson.
What?
Did you know that if you don't share this podcast with your friends, then the aliens are going to come for you? And you're going to be poor because you're not an alien.
No, I don't want to be poor.
And you're never going to be rich because the aliens will hold you down.
Oh, man. That's the worst kind of punishment. It's not just like the strangers coming to your house and like killing you. It's like you're going to be systemically held down.
Right.
And you will never move up.
And there's nothing you can really do about it because the aliens are controlling everything. And if you try and work yourself up.
But if you share this podcast, then I guess
you become one of
rich.
The alien elite. I don't know if that's good, but
yeah, that's what I mean, look, that's where you want to be.
They won't actively hold you down, at least, you know?
That's good. All right.
Wait, I thought of a better one.
You can just go ahead and say the second one also. This is just a little treat for the fans, the true listeners.
Tyson.
Yeah?
You know, if you share this podcast with friends, then you get to chew bubblegum and kick ass all you want.
Great. You won't be out of bubblegum.
You will never run out of bubblegum, but that doesn't mean that you can't still kick ass.
Awesome.
You can do both.
That was great. That was worth it.
Thank you.
That was worth the wait.
Thank you. I had to work some things out there.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.